Hey fantasy football fans, Amadeo here with Fantasy Alpha, the free fantasy football app for all your best fantasy insights to help you win your league. It's free in the App Store and on Google Play. Now tonight's video is part 4 of a 4-part series called New Team Who Dis, where I break down every player on a new team and give you my analysis on if that player is in a better situation or a worse situation and how to go about analyzing this player on draft day. Now tonight's focus is all about tight ends, so let's get right to it. Our first tight end up is Jared Cook, going from the Oakland Raiders to the New Orleans Saints. Now, what has changed about Jared Cook's situation? Well, he trades in Derek Carr for Drew Brees. Drew Brees has thrown over 4,000 yards in 12 of his last 13 seasons, so Jared Cook's volume will still be very high, as he's coming off the best season of his career last year, where he had 68 catches, 896 yards, and 6 touchdowns. So we love Jared Cook in New Orleans going into a dynamite situation with Drew Brees. Next up, we have the tight end duo Matt LaCosse and Ben Watson, both going to the New England Patriots. Now, Matt LaCosse is leaving Denver to go to New England to play with Tom Brady. There's a huge gap left there by Rob Gronkowski retiring. And Ben Watson's suspended weeks 1 through 4. So Matt LaCosse has a huge opportunity to make a name for himself as the starter in New England the first 4 weeks. Now, Ben Watson goes from New Orleans back to New England. He played with Tom Brady the first 6 years of his career, so there's some chemistry already built in there. And Ben Watson's 38 years old, but the last 2 seasons he has 96 catches and 6 touchdowns, so he can still produce. So we like both Ben Watson and Matt LaCosse getting huge opportunities for volume here in New England. Next up, we have Tyler Kroft, going from the Cincinnati Bengals to the Buffalo Bills. Now, what has changed about Tyler Kroft's situation? Well, Buffalo paid him a 3-year, $18 million deal, so they're committed to him as the starting tight end. And in 2017, he scored 7 touchdowns, but then last year, he missed 11 games due to injury. And he's also dealing with a broken foot injury in camp. And tight end Dawson Knox, who Buffalo drafted in the 3rd round of this year's draft, is getting rave reviews in camp. So Kroft might have some tight end competition right out of the gates. So we think he's in a decent situation in Buffalo. Not necessarily better than Cincy, but it's about equal. Next up is Charles Clay, going from the Buffalo Bills to the Arizona Cardinals. Now, what has changed about Charles Clay's situation? Well, he goes to play with a rookie quarterback in Arizona, Kyler Murray. That didn't fare too well for him last year playing with Josh Allen, rookie quarterback in Buffalo. He scored 0 touchdowns. Arizona drafted 3 wide receivers in this year's draft, not to mention Larry Fitzgerald is there, Christian Kirk is there. It's very crowded already, and he's going to have to compete with Ricky Seals-Jones, the tight end position, for snaps and targets there. They also brought in Max Williams. So we're not crazy about Charles Clay's situation in Arizona. And our final tight end on this list is Jeff Swaim, going from the Dallas Cowboys to the Jacksonville Jaguars. Now, what has changed about Jeff Swaim's situation? Well, he goes to Jacksonville to play with Nick Foles. Last year in 5 games, Nick Foles targeted tight ends 60 times. Now, that was Zach Ertz and Dallas Goedert, but still, Foles has a soft spot for his tight ends. Now, Jeff Swaim will have to compete with rookie Josh Oliver, who caught 56 balls, 709 yards, and 4 touchdowns last year in San Jose State. And Jeff Swaim only has 35 catches in 18 career starts. So Swaim doesn't really have the experience here to be a starting tight end. So it's not a bad situation playing with Nick Foles, but it's about equal. Well, that's it for tight ends and the whole New Team Who Dis series. Join us for our next video, Undervalued Players, dropping right here on the Fantasy Alpha YouTube channel. Be sure to subscribe below. And follow us on Instagram and Twitter at Fantasy Alphas for all your latest fantasy football insights and updates. And download the Fantasy Alpha app. It's free in the App Store and on Google Play. Well, until next time, I'm Amadeo with Fantasy Alpha.